So I'm calling your church to test to see if they would help feed a starving baby. And right now I'm about to call Germantown Baptist Church located in Memphis, Tennessee. And we're going to see if they would be willing to feed a starving baby.
So today we're going to talk about Nikaylee. She's a TikToker who calls churches and asks if they can support her crying baby.
Germantown Baptist Church.
Hiya, I was wanting to see if you all could help with a small can of baby formula.
If we can help with what? I'm sorry.
Like a small can of baby formula.
Let me get the pastor on call for you. Let me place you on a hold. One moment, please.
Okay, so she just calls, simple question, goes through all of the prompts and asks if they can just give a simple can of baby formula. She's not asking for money. She's not asking for, it could come off as a scam. You know, if I'm calling somebody, and especially nowadays, scams are so relevant that I would have my guard up. Like, okay, just come to the location and ask for food. Now, if you're making any kind of content, I'm sorry for pausing, you're probably doing it for the views and for the revenue.
I had to call them back. They left me.
Thank you for calling Germantown Baptist Church. Please listen carefully as our menu options have changed.
Thank you, ma'am. I saw you hung up, and I was like, oh no, I'm going to have to call her back. But my system was jammed up, so I couldn't see who was actually on call. And I'm like, what is going on? And it's not working.
The baby in the background just crying.
And I usually print that out, and I didn't this time, but I'm just gonna walk back there and see, okay?
Okay.
They put her on hold in a really long time, and she's about to talk to the pastor.
Hello.
Hi, yes. I was just wanting to see if y'all were able to help with baby formula at all.
We unfortunately are not. We have a benevolence program, but it is for our members.
It's just for the members, because like I have a 2-month-old and she hasn't ate like since last night, so she's gone all night and all day without any formula. Like, I don't need money or anything. I just need like a small little can, and I've been calling everywhere and they're just telling me call churches, and I just don't know what else to do.
If you can't call a church for help, we're pretty much screwed.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have any formula here to give out. We don't have any kind of food bank or anything like that.
Would it be something y'all could get and I could pick it up?
What's that?
Would it be something you all would be able to get and I can pick it up?
Well, like I said, if it's anything like that, our benevolence is for our members.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Our benevolence, our kindness is only reserved for our members. But I'm pretty sure if you wanted to donate, you could just donate. As a pastor, there's not a single example in the Bible where benevolence should only be extended to people that are part of the group that is ridiculous. You are doing the Lord's work. Keep exposing these that have lost their way and lost the heart of Jesus for the world. 100% agree to that. I don't remember Jesus saying you'd need to be a member of his church for him to help you. Yeah, let's see what the comments are beneath. I'll bet you don't have to be a member to make a donation. And that's what I was saying, like, these churches accept any donation from anyone and any amount, and they encourage you. And I know this is not all churches. I know this is just some churches, and not all people are bad, not all churches are bad, not all anything is bad. Hi, so I went to this church growing up. I'm now firmly agnostic. This checks out. Y'all, please do not get the gospel of Jesus Christ confused with a church member. This is not Christianity. Please do not link this with Christ. Could you call a drag bar or somewhere similar to see the difference? Y'all pro-birthers are a f***ing joke. The mosque only asked 2 questions, because she also called some Muslim mosques. Where are you and what kind of formula? They never asked her if she was Muslim. Our benevolence is for our members. I hope that sentence is heard by every member of the congregation and that it's heavily on hearts. The pastor, Dr. Matt Brown, he has no excuse at all and should not be working in the name of God at all. Disgraceful. Benevolence is for our members. It's one of the most damning things I've ever heard. Call a sheikh temple, call a mosque, call a Wiccan circle. They'll help in seconds, but a church with all this money, all these resources, please do Crossroads Baptist Church, Fern Park, Florida. My uncle is a preacher there and I'm really curious to see what they would do. I'm sorry, is that a video of a luxurious bathtub in the church's pictures? There's a literal bathtub. There's 2 things happening here. There's a content creator who knows that making this kind of content with no audio, copyright, sound, content that's longer than a minute is gonna get her a huge paycheck from TikTok and other social media platforms. So is there a incentivizing desire, intention to maybe put people in certain situations and put pressure on them and make them look bad in order to garner sympathy for her cause? I think so. I don't think you can separate the two. It's both connected. I think that deep down inside, she does get validation and feels good and a financial incentive to film these videos. And now, should she stop? Are these helpful? What's going to happen? I think a lot of people are going to realize that most of these churches, most of these organized groups, doesn't matter what affiliation you're associated with, are a clubhouse. A place where people feel lost and they can find community, friendship, family. People get married in churches, people fall in love in churches, in temples and mosques. They're all very similar things. They're places where people can go with like-minded ideas so they can have a community. Maybe their daughter will marry their son or something. That's what it's actually for. Now, if you're a believer of God, you tend to walk alone. You don't want to bring other people in your faith. You want to be close to God. When God sends everyone away, He just wants you and Him. That's it. And I find that very powerful because if you're indoctrinated, if you grew up in a Muslim household like I was, or in a Christian household, or in a Jewish household, whatever, you're most likely going to adopt the faith of your parents and their ideas, their racism, their hatred, their bigotry, their love, all the bad things and all the good things. They come along with your parents. And what you learn from your parents, you take with you. And it's your responsibility at a certain age that no matter how difficult your upbringing was, to overcome those bad things that they taught you and become a good adult, to break generational cycles of hatred, bigotry, racism. I filmed church services back in the day, some in Texas, some in Los Angeles, and I wasn't a member of those churches. I was a videographer and I provided a service. Did I judge them? No. But some people would faint. If you pointed at them, they would faint and have a seizure and they would say, this is the Holy Spirit. What am I talking about? I think the cruelest thing about organized religion is the exploitation of the lonely. A lot of people feel so lonely and they just want a community. They just want someone to talk to. They want to go to lunch with them. They want to have some faces that are familiar, some people that they know that they exist. They want validation of their own existence, that their ideas are important, that their laughter can make someone else laugh, that they can finally find the love of their life. If not in a church, then where? Where can I find the love of my life? And especially these really religious people, doesn't matter what faith, they really want someone with similar ideologies so their kids can have those ideologies. So it's very tight-knit communities. And so what does that mean? That means that they're really judgmental. If you make a mistake or you go against the grain, you're going to be ostracized or judged heavily and sometimes even kicked out, shamed, shunned. You know, especially if the pastor or of these temples, of these mosques, if the pastors are rich and they're driving nice cars or they're really big in size, I would look twice at them. And it's so sad because they just say donate, donate, give. And yes, it's a paid subscription for friends. I think churches are a paid subscription for community and friends. That's your Netflix for friendship. If you want friendship off the bat, go pay a subscription fee at a church. There's your friends. There's your Sunday brunch companions. But if you want to be close to God, then you must know pain. And obviously this is my opinion. I don't know anything, so please, do your own research. But in my opinion, the closest you are to yourself, to your pain, the closer you are to God. The more pain you feel, the more mistakes you've made, and you realize that they're mistakes, that's when you go to God. When you go to God, that's your church, that's your temple, that's your mosque, that's your synagogue. That's what I honestly believe. I honestly believe when you're in the most pain, that's where the light enters you. You need to beg for mercy. Sometimes you're just in so much pain that you're on your knees and you're just saying like, God, do you even hear me? Like, I know I haven't been there and no one hears me. Not my family, not my friends. I don't have a partner, I'm alone. But do you hear me? Because I'm hurting right now. That's your church. That's where you go to temple, to synagogue, to mosque. When you're on your knees begging for relief from the pain of your life. And you say, I want to be a better person. I want to do better. And I don't want anyone to see. I don't want recognition from other church members. I want to just do this between me and you, God. If you're not doing that on your own, and if you're not accepting of everybody and giving to everyone of all walks of life, then I don't think you're a believer of God. That's just my opinion. I'm probably wrong. That's okay. Honestly, if your kindness has limitations based off of color, height, skin, religion, where they're from, where they're not from, are you even religious? because God created us all, and He wouldn't have created us in different colors if He didn't want us to bridge that gap to get to know each other. Maybe our differences is a test of how far we're willing to go to love God's creatures. And now, I don't like preaching about God. I don't want you to convert to whatever religion. I don't care what religion you practice. I think kindness itself is a religion. Love has no religion, but is in every religion. And if you can practice love, I think you're a religious person. See, what the bad thing about these viral videos is that other churches will see them, and then whenever they get a phone call, they're gonna be nice, they're gonna change their attitude, but the intention's not there. The actual intention of helping people is not gonna be there. It's gonna be a performative act. So what she did is basically put a warning out into the world saying, hey, look, people are being more cautious. You're gonna have to step up your manipulation game and do a better job at pretending to be with God than you already are. I know that's sad, but hey, maybe you could be the change in the world. I don't know. Be nice to strangers. And love is religion, so be loving, and it'll come back to you.